Hey guys, Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and the topic of today's video is going to be about souls. The main reason is there is currently a soul chase event, a soul chase tournament. I've just got my Hydra reset, so I thought I would do a bit of a little bit of a summon. I have stayed away from buying any of the Black Friday packs relating to soul stones. The only one I bought was that Primal Shard pack, which, as you saw in yesterday's video, or I think it was Monday's video, wasn't the greatest idea I've ever come up with in my life. So we stayed away from everything else, although I do think if you can get the offerings that they've had, those are pretty good price points. You get a lot of value for money for those ones. I wouldn't buy them at their normal rates, only at these discounted rates. But I want to talk more about the soul system as well, because there's a big topic going around at the moment about the new content piece, which we're getting more and more information about. It's all ramping up around about the need for fully awakened heroes. Now, there's a sentence spoken in the last audio clip where the narrator that we hear in the What's Next videos has kind of said, only the champions awakened to their fullest potential will be able to complete this content or enter this content, which, you know, to be fair to the majority of people listening to it, that would instantly make them jump to what? So I have to be 6-star awakened? Now, we talked about it a little bit in the collab that I did with Hell Hades. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a little card to the left, to the right of me. Go check that out. It's a bit of a long video, but it's a good topic and a narration, what we think we're going to get. I just want to kind of cover why I think it's not what it sounds like in the video, and in terms of placing it against my account as well, where I have spent a bit of money on souls. And then actually just having a bit of a theory about what we're going to get there. And then I'm going to pull the summon, I'm going to pull my souls at the end. I've got basically 40 tier 1 pulls. We'll see what we get, see if we get lucky. This is the map that Dead with Jedi, I think Sender, Victor Tess, YST, and I think Colbrew, was it? I think it was Colbrew. They basically were given fragments of a map, and they had a live stream. Go check out Deadwood's channel to see that, where they talked about this Cintranos. This is the map of Cintranos, the city of Cintranos, which we're going to be exploring in the next major content piece. You can see there is Cobble Market, there is Plague Home, there is the Dead Rise, and the Soul Cross. Now, the Soul Cross is the area where the soul summoning system was referenced. The last clip, that's where they mentioned it. And it does look like we've basically got a tower in the middle, which we think is the home of the Lumia Archon, or whatever it was called. I can't exactly remember his name, but it feels like there's 4 distinct areas leading to one central tower. And I think personally this makes sense from a player progression point of view. I think the first few areas, like the first 3 areas, are going to give you a key. You use that key to get into the tower, and then the end game content will be this Soul Cross area. So that doesn't mean you won't need awakened champions. That doesn't mean you won't need end game gear. That doesn't mean you won't need some void legendaries or some sort of access to very powerful heroes. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you absolutely have to have the hardest, like the highest sort of thing, because I just don't think it's practical for you to be able to do content around something only like 0.1%, if not even less, has, right? We're talking multiple. It's not just like you need one 6-star soul. You need 6-star souls on the heroes that are required to do this content, and you need multiple ones of them and to build a team around it. And I've seen some pretty cracking accounts, and they just wouldn't be able to build teams around it unless the content you make is going to be auto-farmable with a Gnut, right? Unless you're going to have like one hero just break it, it's not going to work. And the other thing I want to mention about Kraken accounts, you know, people who spend a lot of money on souls, typically they're only looking for the souls for heroes they use on a regular basis. And as you get towards like the pinnacle of Kraken accounts, even though they have lots of rank 6s, they're pretty much using the same champions for everything because they can, essentially, because those heroes are strong. So Taras gets used in Hydra as well as Arena. They're using Gnut in every single boss. They're using Siphi in every single boss. They're using Riho in every single boss because they can just one-shot everything. So you don't have this diversified champion pool, which you might need for this content. You might need to pull out that, you know, that madman or that random rare champion that actually is really good. Well, if you don't have the soul for that, it's not going to work. So in essence, what I think they mean by that statement, I think the narrator is creating a narrative, a creative story. He's saying, like we've seen in the past, only the biggest and most powerful heroes are going to be able to beat this boss. I don't think it actually qualifies that you have to be 6-star awakened. Now, I could be wrong. I will put that out there. It could absolutely be 6-star awakened. It could be. But I don't think we're in a position where anyone can really make a statement, this new major. You know, I've seen things like, this is going to be the highest pay to win content ever released by Raid. How do you know that? We have zero information apart from a sentence in a audio clip relating to 4 different regions. This is more information than the audio clips give us to some extent, in the sense that we actually have now like a conceptual map. So all I would say to people is wait and see what it says. I personally think it will be like you need some level. Like if you think of how the Shogun boss works, it has a whole awakening mechanic around it, but actually you don't need it. The souls are irrelevant to my team. They help me beat it faster because I do more damage and I take less damage. But in essence, I don't need Awakening to beat the Shogun boss. And even the most budget available, I've seen a Shogun boss which is like Renegade, Mithrala, Cold Heart. And I think something else, like really free to play friendly. Be able to do the higher stages in about 30 to 40 seconds, right? There are videos out there. So I think that's the type of content we're going to expect to see, where the Awakening system is going to benefit you, but it's not going to prohibit you, because that would be just silly. Now let's just have a quick look at the map. Some of the things I want to call out here. The big thing I want to call out is each area seems to have its own emblem, as if it's like factional related or like some sort of like region related within the region. So I don't know whether that's going to have a content thematic to it, in terms of things like, are we going to have to like get reputation for Soul Cross, or this Soul Cross related activities specific to that part of the Cintranos? Definitely, I can see how 3 regions being Cobble Market, Deadrise, and Plaguecombe, you'll get a key. You take that key into the central tower here, and maybe the central tower is the new big boss of this area. We don't really have much information about the Soul Cross. There's the lighthouse, I think. That is the lighthouse, so it's a lighthouse down here. We've got some different things, like there's a Kraken over here. There's some serpents in the sea. It's very piratey feeling to it. Essentially, what I'm feeling this looks like is new, like progression-based campaign story into either repeatable or limited time dungeon events. There is a social media post going out around twin bosses. You know, I think in one of the clips, it basically mentioned you might see pairings of bosses. So it seems like they're going to make pairings of bosses. The only concern I do have is I do want new bosses. If everything is just reversioned copies of the Fire Knight, of Dragon, of Borgoth, that's not really engaging with me. I don't want to have to fight Fire Knight 3.0. This new central boss and this Soul Cross area needs to be brand new bosses to fight that's different. It's difficult, maybe. I do think potentially we could have a Nightmare hard, brutal difficulty, so you can scale it, because I do think it's important that all new players can actually get into this area and enjoy it. But I also think that endgame players need to have some sort of challenge, right? You need to have some sort of endgame content here, because if I can walk in here and go Arbiter into Gnut and I one-shot it, it's not going to work. I'm excited. I think for the first time we're actually getting content that is just content's sake, right? It's content for content's sake, rather than content at the service of some bloat mechanic or pay to win mechanic or something else, right? Iron Twins for the souls, Sand Devil for awakening materials, right? It's not that. This is actually a brand new content piece that we're designed to go and beat. That being said, how valuable then is souls? Are they actually something you still need to get? Well, I would say for an account like mine, right? An account like mine, where essentially I have got a wide variety of champions, right? I've got loads of rank 6 champions. I've got a lot of legendary champions. I miss a lot of the powerful meta, like the meta PvP champions, but for PvE, I pretty much have a champion that can fulfill every single role that I need them to fulfill. So in that sense, is there any value in shards for me? No, not really, because the likelihood is I'm going to pull a duplicate. What is valuable for me is things like this guaranteed Valkanen that is on right now. If I had Void Shards, I would definitely pull for him, because I think he's very good. I don't think he's necessarily crazy good, but he's very good. So every opportunity that I can get to try and guarantee myself a champion I don't have is much more valuable to me as a 4-year veteran with the players that I got. So the way that I can improve my account more than anything else tends to be Soulstones, because I can actually make my champions hit a lot harder and do a lot more different things, and I can almost overcome some of the meta restrictions my account has by bringing things like a 5-star life harvest, right? That's going to help me if I don't have the Taras, the Marichka, the Yumikos, the Sifis, the Rotus, because I can hopefully abuse the blessings mechanics and the bonus stats that I get to overcome the meta champion differential. These soul stones I tend to value quite highly. I haven't been putting as much energy into Iron Twins lately, because the fusion schedules have been pretty rough. They were pretty close together, and I've had a lot of masteries to grind. I've been trying to pull together some better Hydra Clash teams so that my clan can work better towards getting some Hydra Clash rewards, because in my opinion, the 9 out of 9 protection set is one of the craziest sets in the game now. If you can get yourself 3 protection accessories, you can do some crazy things with that set in the right faction. So Hydra Clash is very important for me as well. So what I want to ask people is, let me know in the comments below, what is the number one thing you would love to see in this new regional content piece that we've got? We've got 4 different areas. What is the one thing that you would want more than anything else? I might do a community poll as well on the community tab, kind of like I'll pick 4 different areas or like 4 different things that I would love to see, and we'll see what the community thinks, because I'm really curious to know what people expect from the new content piece, because I have my own expectations and my own desires, but that might not necessarily match with the average player. You know, we saw that with the champion pass thing, where I was like, I want those challenges to be more interesting, where a lot of people were like, I like the fact that the Xena champion pass, those challenges are not interesting, are very easy to do. So we'll see. Let me know in the comments below. I'll probably put a community poll up as well, so you can go check that out on this channel. But with that being said, I want to do some of my souls here. I have got my Hydra rewards. I haven't really done much Iron Twins. I've been picking up some soul stones here or there in different events, and I think I won 2 from the champion chase because I pulled 24 primals and I got on 5th on the leaderboard. So I was in a pretty good situation. We got 40 tier 1s and 2 tier 2s. I don't normally spend them on coins anymore. I keep the coins for the soul essence, although I am in a situation at the moment where everything is just way too expensive for the amount of essence that I've got, which is always a bit frustrating. The souls I am really looking for more than anything else are basically a Gnut soul, because I want a higher soul reap, Ninja soul just so I can speed up my Sand Devil team, and then pretty much any improvements I can have to some sort of base nukers if I've got them, any sort of support champions, just to improve like Hydra teams, get some higher cruelty levels up. I don't really have crazy meta champions for the arena, so anything like a Ragash soul to try and speed him up would be great, and those sorts of things. So we're going to pull, how much space have we got here? We've got 165 out of 190. We're probably going to have to pull a little bit, sell a little bit, and see what we've got. We're going to pull the 40, then we're going to pull the 2. I generally don't like these stones because I tend to find I don't get much value out of them. I always end up with 3-star rares, whereas I feel like my personal opinion is I'd rather roll the dice more than have the dice loaded better in my favor. I'd rather have like 40 poorly rolled dice than sort of 2 slightly better rolled dice. I just feel like I get more odds and opportunities. So let's see what we're going to get then. 31 points. I hate that it shows the points before because it kind of gives you an idea that it's either going to be good or it's bad. It takes away from the mystery. We do get some epics. What have we got? These are really poor epics. Apothecary, Tolog, a 2-star Rowan, and a 1-star Madame Cerise. Pretty much either I've already got those epic souls or they're useless at 1 star. Right, Baroth is useless. 71, slightly more points. That means we've got like a 3-star somewhere, or maybe like a 2-star. Oh, it's a 4-star Dithey. That's good. Legendary. That's a 1-star Best Office. I've already got that. That's rough. Okay, not too bad. Hexia, pretty decent champion. And a 4-star Artifact. The 4-star Dithey, I'm pretty sure, is an improvement. A little bit of an improvement. That's huge. So when you're looking at souls, for a damage dealer, 2 and 4-star is very big. 2, 4, and 6 is more important than 1, 3, and 5. Because often you want stats for your damage dealer. At 2-star, you get attack. 4-star, you get crit damage. Those are big breakpoints. This is a very big breakpoint for Dithey. He's going to get a lot more damage. The 5, 3, and 1 is more for utility. Or if you want to get that Phantom Touch at 100%, then 5 and 6, right? Most of the time, utilities really need to be 5 or 6 because you need the higher odds. But for damage dealers, the 2, 4, and 6 breakpoints are very big. So this is a huge increase. We'll get a little bit of a discount back as well because we obviously used a perfect soul. So we can summon that up here, which is cool. Collect this. We're going to need to just clear out some extra souls here. So I'm going to clear that out and then I will jump back into the video. Okay, we've cleared enough space. We can summon the rest out now. Let's see what else we get. 785. Okay, this is huge. It's a big pull. We got a 6-star. What are we going to get? This is crazy. What is it? Oh no, it's a frigging mythical soul. I don't have a mythical. I'm raging. Oh, that's rough. A 5-star Ophidius. Well, you didn't give me Ophidius. I got excited. I thought it was a 6-star legendary. It's a 5-star Ophidius. He's actually really good in his base form, but of the mythicals, he's the least mythical champion of the mythicals because you will never ever go into his alternate form because his base form is the only decent form. The second form, I just think, is an average legendary. It's just no point. The first form is actually quite good. It scales really well. So if we ever get an Ophidius, then we've got a 5-star soul waiting for him. A 1-star Baron. I already have a 5-star Baron. That's rough. Okay, never mind. What are we going to get now? Back down to earth with 57. I got so excited when I saw 785. I got really excited. The game is just baiting me. This is going to be like 5 rares. 1-star Colin. 4-star Hoskull. Hoskull's a really good epic for a lot of players. If you're struggling with like controlling waves, Hoskull is a great option. Absolutely worth using. Let's see. Let's just collect this soul coin up. Any sort of improvements does that give me? Probably not, because it's just the way that the world works. But that 1-star Baron, we might as well just sell it because we've already got a 5-star Baron. That doesn't really help us. But yeah, I mean, I've got pretty much a soul for every mythical near enough. A 5-star Ophidius, that's gonna hurt. Anyway, let's pull the last 2 souls here. We've got 2 souls. These are the ones I don't really like, but we'll see what happens. We get 135. I think that's a 5-star epic. Yeah, it's gonna be a 5-star Yaga. What do you do with a 5-star Yaga? Not much. And then back down to earth. I don't like these stones. I feel like I get barely anything out of them. We do get an epic. It's going to be a 3-star, and it's going to be a 4-star Tarchon. So the reality is, unlike usually when I pull stones, I got a little bit of an improvement to Mr. Aphrodite, which is nice, but none of those souls really gave me much improvement. But I didn't spend any money on it, right? So that's kind of like a good thing. You can see I do have quite a lot of souls that I often keep lying around in case I need to use them. This Ophidius is going to be the torment of my day now. That's just brutal. Where do we get to in the Soul Chase tournament? These are pretty good if you get lucky, like there, for example. Because of that Ophidius, I may not ever get Ophidius in my life, right? I may never get that mythical champion, but he's just given me a legendary book. So I will take that and I will run with it because that's as good as it could ever get when it comes to soul summoning. Getting something like a 5-star mythical that you don't necessarily have, at least it gives me a legendary book, right? So that gives me something. It's much better than nothing at all. It's really annoying. I'm only like 160 away from this other legendary book. So I could just basically trade all of my tier 3 coins. I could make a legend. Do you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to do it for content. I would never do this. I would always keep the coins normally because you need them for the essence. But in reality, at this point, I've got all the major epic souls that I want. And I'm so far away from anything. I'm just going to do this for content. We have to have a little bit of fun every now and then. So we have 1,000 of these souls. We can buy an Eternal Soul Stone. This will guarantee me a legendary book. It's the only reason why I'm doing it. What are we going to get? It's going to be something good. It'll probably be 135 points. It is 135 points. It's a 5-star epic. And it's going to be a Canoness. This is why I like the tier 1 stones, because I feel like you just run the odds of getting something better. That's just so useless. I have no use for a 5-star Canoness. What am I going to do with a 5-star Canoness? It's just sat there for coins, and obviously I've just converted 1,000 coins to 100, so I basically made 10% back. So it's pretty poor, pretty rough going there. But it didn't even guarantee me. Look, it didn't even guarantee me the legendary book. Because it was 135, I need another 40 souls. So I need like another 10 pull. Okay, this is annoying. We'll do one more of these. 3 points. Oh, come on. Oh, that's brutal. Souls. This one legendary book is going to cost me so much. I know I've got 1 day, 17 hours. I could absolutely wait for another soul stone. But I mean, I'm so close. I just need a little bit of luck. One more. Last one. A little bit of luck. Come on. There we go. 5-star epic. Something good. What are we going to get? Anything good? Oh, it's a 5-star Akhenaten. That's actually quite nice. I quite like that. We'll take that. That gives us a little bit of a boost to our main Akhenaten. I do have 2 Akhenatens, but do I want to awaken one to rank 5 or do I want 2 rank 4s? One rank 4, one rank 5. I'm using this guy in Spider Hard. It would give him a 20% resistance on his A1. I probably will go with another one. I'd probably awaken this dude because I feel like the value of having 2 different Akhenatens here would be better because there is a value in having there's 2 different ways to build this champion and that will give me more value. So we'll take that. That's pretty good. That should now give us the legendary book. It did cost us a lot of coins, basically. I don't really care about these mythical tomes because I don't have any mythical champions and I don't really feel like you need to book them. They're not as urgent, but just getting that was worth it. And where am I sitting on the leaderboard? I'm about 7th. So I might pick up some gems. We'll take it. These are pretty useless anyway, these chests. So unless you're going to really go hard, we'll go what it is. But there you go, guys. Soul summoning. A bit of a longer video here, around about 23 minutes. I did want to just talk about the new content piece because we have more content around that. We'll have to see if we get more information. I would expect Thursday tends to be some information drops as we prepare for the weekend. There's a summoning event. We are mid-fusion now. They did say there was going to be a bigger gap between the fusions, which makes sense if there's new major content pieces coming. So I think this content piece must be within the next 2 weeks as release. So I'm really excited. Hopefully we get more information because I really want to see what else is out there. But until then, guys, stay positive. Let's hopefully see a good content piece from Plarium. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt until they disappoint me. Or hopefully they won't disappoint me. They won't this time. I'm confident of it. I'm staying positive. But until then, guys, I'll catch you in the next video.